So, the next movie, just got done watching it, and I would say it is by far probably the best movie out of the bunch that I've seen so far. I know this can change, again and again as soon as we get deeper into the Hallmark Christmas cinematic universe. However, based on what I've seen so far, this has been the best. And the movie I have watched this time was called Christmas with Tucker. So now Tucker is a dog. It's named after... how it got named is kind of stupid because the dog doesn't belong to the main character. It's not a stray. It's not a main character owned dog. It is a dog owned by a neighbor of the main character who at the start of the movie is being watched by the main character, whose name is George. He's a 13-year-old boy whose father died. I always seem to be getting these movies where the father or a mother or a parent, someone has died. And so they're watching this dog, Tucker, for a neighbor who's in jail for whatever crime. We don't really get to hear what crime this person, whose name is Frank Thorne, we don't really get to hear who or what crime he committed. And so the first 30 minutes of the movie go by super fast. Basically, in the first 2 minutes, we get introduced to Tucker. It's like, oh, here's the dog. The grandpa and the grandma are like, oh, here's the dog. Hopefully he'll help you heal, while we have him for a brief moment to forget about your dead father. And so they have him for a brief minute, then 30 minutes go... No, not 30 minutes. About 15 minutes go by, and Frank gets out of jail. And so Frank comes by, gets the dog, picks him up, and then it becomes kind of this whole plot, this whole issue of George being lustful and jealous of Frank for not allowing him to basically buy his dog off of him. So, after, Frank Thorne comes back and gets the dog, Tucker, George goes back the next day to Thorne's house to basically try and steal, in quotation marks, the dog from Thorne or buy it off of him in a way. It becomes this sort of weird and lustful kind of thing with some side plots about a Christmas play that shouldn't even have been in there. A girl that is only there for basically the ending, saying that, oh, we got married at the end. Because this whole movie is basically a flashback, which describes kind of that one Christmas where he met Tucker, where George met Tucker. But overall, the movie's pretty good. There's certain characters that are really good. The grandpa and grandma are very sincere and generous and great in the movie. The villain turns out not to be Thorne, but this guy named Turner who sells booze to Thorne, who I guess got a bad batch and had alcohol poisoning. Thorne got alcohol poisoning, went to the doctor, and now had this whole change of heart and been like, oh, I'm going to be this good guy. I mean, it sounds better than what I'm describing it as, but it is a good movie. It is a pretty good movie for what there's a good Frank redemption. The female character, Mary Ann, her lines are very formulaic and kind of fake in a way, which makes it weird and odd at times. It's a sweet story that turns into a very weird and kind of lustful one at the end, but after all said and done, it's very sweet with a very good and actually great ending. I would say compared to most Hallmark Christmas movies, I would definitely recommend watching this one during the Christmas time. It's not as depressing as, say, A Christmas Heart, but it's not as bad as some other romance Hallmark movies. It's very drama-based, but at the same time, it's not very sad or very romantic, which makes it very good. So overall, I would rate this a solid 6 out of 10 on compared to other Hallmark or compared to other movies. But I would rate it about an 8.5, 9 out of 10 compared to other Hallmark Christmas movies. I recommend this. It's a good watch, I would say. So yeah, that's my kind of plot summary, kind of what I hit about on for A Christmas with Tucker. So yeah.